Live. I'm your host, Brittany Bird, and I am joined here today with Gina, representing the OTA. Gina, I am so excited to have you here, and today you're going to be telling us about how you became famous in your running community and how you built your clientele up to 55 online clients, right?
Yes, thank you for having me. It's an honor.
That's amazing. So for those of you that are watching at home, let us know in the comments where you are joining us from, okay? I am broadcasting here from Ontario, and Gina is in the lovely San Diego. I'm totally jealous about that. So Gina, do you want to tell us how you got started into running?
Well, in 2006, I ran my first marathon just because my cousin asked me to run a half marathon with her. But unfortunately, she got injured during the training, and then I was peer pressured into running the full marathon. So I continued training for the full marathon, and the rest is history.
Wow, I have definitely heard many similar stories where people are convinced by someone else to start running, and then their friend ends up not even running it, and then the person that got convinced is the one that ends up actually finishing it. So
Yep.
amazing. Now, so you what year was your first marathon?
It was in 2006.
Okay. And what brought you into you when we were talking before we went live, you said that you had saw something in the market when you were running. You had started out with a group, right?
Yes.
You were in a running group.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, but you were noticing that everyone was getting injured while they were training.
Yes. Yes. The injuries are high, and I personally, while training for that first marathon, fractured bones in both feet. And, because runners are the way runners are, I ran the race that way. And then I spent a year of not running, wondering what the heck happened to me. And maybe I can figure out how I can help people not have the same problem.
Absolutely. So, what you're saying is you saw a need in the market that was not being served.
At least in the yes, in the group training setting. Basically, the research says that injuries amongst distance runners, half marathoners is 50 to 80% get injured each year. And
Wow.
there's really not a definition of what injury is. So it could just be my knee hurts, so I didn't run today, or it could be traumatic, like fracturing bones.
Wow, that is a really high percentage. And I know personally, when I ran my first marathon, I pulled my IT band, and like you just said, you still run anyways, because runners are a different kind of crazy, right? Like, we are tough, we're super tough, and we push through, right? We don't like to not do our runs. So that's incredible that you saw this in the market and you decided, you know what, hey, this is not a good thing. This is not okay that all of these runners are being injured, because the long-term effects of running injured are not good. So what was your next step after you figured out that you didn't want to let this continue?
So my next step is I wanted to learn more about the body. So in 2009, I got a personal training certification through the National Academy of Sports Medicine. And I went through that, and then I realized that was not the information I was really looking for. So then I ended up going to graduate school for a master's in kinesiology with the emphasis on exercise and sports psychology. And it is there through classes like biomechanics that I really learned about how the body takes forces, and how I can maybe load people more appropriately, or just understanding functional anatomy, how we can be more proactive with things to help prevent those problems.
That's amazing. So for those of you that are watching at home, what need do you see in your market right now that's not being served? So, Gina, this was excellent. I mean, there are things that we do every single day that we see happening that we're like, that's not right, that's not okay. But could you fill, for those of you at home, could you fill a void in the market of what you love? Like, is there something that's in your market that's not being served right now? That's a perfect opportunity for you, and that's exactly what Gina did. She was solving a problem in her market. So now, let's go to when you first decided that you were going to start helping people. You said that was in 2014, right?
Yes. So I graduated from graduate school in 2015, but I had already been through all the functional anatomy, the biomechanics, all that stuff. And I work full time as a dental hygienist, which I've done for 21 years. And one of my patients was always telling me about her sister, who's a runner. And she came in and she told me, oh, she had a horrible marathon. She had to walk half of it. She has a hip problem. She's been going to the chiropractor 3 times a week. And so I reached out to her and I said, I know you don't know me, but I think we have mutual friends in the running community. And I think that I may be able to help you if you're willing. And all I ask for in return is that you tell your friends in the running community about me. And
Wow.
that's where it went.
So, for those of you that are watching at home, this is a really great way. And Leslie also talked about this the other day as well when I interviewed her on Wednesday. She was talking about how her first clients were free. They were people basically to kind of get testimonials to showcase what you really can do, and then also to kind of learn as well, right? To hone in on your skill set. So after that, you said in 2017, you started a Facebook page and you started a website. Now, but before that, you were training you said you were training a friend and family group?
Yeah, I was training a group of people that consists of family and friends, and I was helping them out, just trying to give them my nuggets of information.
That's great. And so in 2017, you started your Facebook page and you started your website. Mm-hmm. So this was kind of a really great spot where you kind of started to become famous. So you were saying, what did you post on your website? Like, what was the main reason behind creating your website?
Well, the whole point of my website was just to write blogs about running related issues, really heavy on injury, understanding injury, injury prevention, nutrition, hydration, the mental side of training, just things like that. And at first, when I did it, I said, I don't care if people don't, if I don't get business from it. I just want people to know the name. That was. And people had the few people I had been working with had already been, hashtagging me Run with Gina. So it's not that I named it my business Run with Gina. The people named it Run with Gina. So I just kind of went with it.
It is a really catchy name. And I know in OTA, I mean, you mentioned it as well, that, we say like, don't use like puns on your name. Right. But I personally like it. I think it's a really cool business name. So, you now with these blog articles, were these questions or issues or topics that you were talking about with your like runners that you were like, oh, this person had this issue, let me write a blog about it? Is that where you were getting the ideas from?
Early on, my ideas came from papers I wrote while in the graduate program. Okay. So they were, so I just used that information and tried to, I feel bad for saying this, but, take something very academic and dumb it down for the general population. So initially that's what they were. But then later, as I got more exposure to people, it then started turning into questions people were asking me, because it's one of those things, if one person has a question, more do, right? So
Yes, absolutely. Well, and we always talk about in the OTA is if you have one question, if somebody has one question, then basically start putting them into a Google Doc. And then anytime that person has that question, you can just pull that answer out and answer them. So that was a really great idea that you use that for your blog. And even before you, if you didn't have any clients asking you questions, you were kind of writing topics that you as a runner probably already had like questions about and wanted answers to. So for those of you that are at home, if you don't have any clients yet, that's a really great way, ask what are you asking? What were questions that you were wondering when you first started out? Or simply even if you do have clients right now, what are the questions that they're asking you? These are really great opportunities to turn into Facebook Lives or blog posts or Instagram stories. And we talked about this with Alex, and that was on last Tuesday's video about Facebook and Instagram. So if you guys are interested in learning more about that, if you're watching on Facebook, you can head on after this, obviously, head on over to the videos, and you'll see that all of these recordings are actually stored in there for you guys to watch, okay? So let's talk about how you actually started to get famous in your running community. So this was a really cool thing that we were talking about before we came on live here. So you were saying that where you live, they have this huge race, and a lot of people are under the impression that you can't have your best race at this race. So do you want to explain to people why? And I also feel like this is like something that's trending right now, is that unpopular opinion thing. And I feel like you started the unpopular opinion before it was like a cool thing to do. So, okay, so let's dive into that. So tell me about this race.
So here in San Diego, we have the San Diego Half Marathon, and people believe that they cannot have their best race there because of the location of the uphills in the race is when you're starting to fatigue. But there's also a downhill. It's a downhill finish. But what happens is people, they don't plan properly, and they're out the gate too fast, and they don't have what they need to get up their hill, and then they don't have what they need to benefit from the downhill. So it's all in the pacing. So for the 2017 race, which was pre-OTA, I put up an ad on my business Facebook page because I thought you were supposed to use your business Facebook page. After the OTA, I started focusing more on my personal page, since that's where your friends are that know and trust you. But I put up this discount for this training for this race for the 2018 race, and I got one person cashed in on that discount, and then I already had 4, so I had 5 people training for that race. But after the OTA, and I started doing the messaging, 5 people a day, just getting people reminded of you and what you do. Some of my personal friends then became my clients. They've been runners all along. They've known me for a long time, but they never used my services. So long story short, in 2018, when I advertised services for this race, I had 5 runners. And then in 2019, I had 27 runners in that race. And everybody can't have their best race, but we had quite a few number of people that did have their best race or had their best race on that course. And one of the things I did for them is I crunched paces. I had all these little pacing plans for them, which had them, honing it in. And quite honestly, I am known for the unpopular opinion. I have had clients tell me, everything you tell me is against anything anybody else has ever told me. I've had trainers, I've had coaches, I've, weight loss, so I guess I'm the unpopular opinion, but that's all right. I'm rolling with it.
And you know what? And the thing is, like, I do find that a lot of people want to fit in. So a lot of people say the same things. But when in reality, and I know, and with my clients, right? With my clients, I never cut calories for anyone. I'm like, you want to lose weight? We're going to feed you more food. And they're like, but so-and-so said I should be eating 1,200 calories. And I'm like, yeah, because it's been working for you for the last 10 years of you not eating any food, right? Like, that's why you're here with me right now, because that 1,200 diet has been working. Like, let's try something else.
Right.
So I definitely think your clients appreciate it, because at the end of the day, they want what works. They don't want you to be nice to them. Like, they want you to get them results. That's what people are paying for.
Hey, real quick, I know you're into this episode, but I wanted to let you know that if you want to get started with online coaching, then I have a free gift for you. It's a free 3-day course, and in it, you'll learn the core truths guaranteed to get you online fitness clients. You can register with your email at onlinetrainer.com/intro, or if you're in the United States, simply text PTDC to 444-999. Thanks, now back to the show.
So you went from having 5 people on the course to 27 people on the course. So let's talk about how you started to get known in your industry. So you said people were asking for shirts, right? So for those of you at home, this is something that, like, you're going to want to take notes on. You'll see Gina's wearing her shirt. And if you guys have been watching too, you'll have noticed that pretty much every person that we've brought on over the last 2 weeks has been wearing a business shirt. Okay. And actually, and Jason offered to send me one. I was like, ooh, nice. He has these Rev Fit ones. So I thought, that's cool. I'll be repping it soon. So if you want to become famous in your industry, like Jonathan says, Gina, what does John say? If be good at what you do and let everyone know about it.
Yes.
I forgot
the golden rules. Oh my gosh, the golden rules. Yes. The guiding principles. Yes.
Exactly.
I'm not good. I am not good at letting everybody know. Be good at what you do and let everybody know. I have not personally been good, but I have this amazing group of people that trust me and feel safe. And they're buying out these shirts and hats and putting stickers on their car and their hydro flask. And so they are helping me. It's a teamwork. It's teamwork. If I didn't have these people that are so enthusiastic, I don't know, I'd probably be not saying anything, but yes. So they are helping me spread the word.
That's amazing. So first you said your clients were asking you for these shirts, right? They were like, oh, can we get shirts to go running with and stuff like that? So tell us, because I feel like people overcomplicate things a lot. How did you come up with that first batch of shirts?
So I was at work, my day job, my dental hygiene job, and my coworker and we came up with this idea for this logo. And then I just started asking my friends that I knew had printed up shirts, who they used. And one guy, I contacted one guy and he says, there's a 28 minimum order. And I thought, wow, I'm not going to meet 28. So I moved on to another printer, and he told me there was a 12 minimum order, because this is before I had the majority of my people. I said, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna meet 12 either. So I put it on my Facebook group page. I put a picture of the basic shirts without the logo. They had no idea what the logo looked like. Only I knew the sketch of the logo. Yeah. And I said, and I put it on my first personal Facebook page. I said, who wants to support me? And so I ended up ordering over 60 shirts in that first order when I didn't think 12. Yeah, I know. So anyway, so then the people started asking me for more colors, more styles, more, whatever. Like I said, I have some really enthusiastic people. I wouldn't be known if it wasn't for them. And I don't think I'm famous, by the way. For those of you that are watching, it's from the Online Trainers Academy. Is a module where he says, how do you know when somebody's famous? It's when everybody knows your name. So everybody's knowing that my name. So
absolutely. Well, and it's a perfect opportunity for those that don't necessarily want to talk about themselves yet, if they're not ready. The fact that if you have branded products like shirts, stickers, you don't even have to really talk. Your clients will do it for you. Like, I was actually at the gym yesterday, and one of my past clients was wearing my branded shirt, and I actually went over because she was on the treadmill, and I like creepily snapped a picture of her, and I was like, oh, this is good, I'll use this later for social media.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing, right? That these people are literally walking advertisements for you. And because it's also a conversation starter. Someone's going to be like, oh, what Run with Gina? Like, and you know how runners are? We're like super passionate. We're like, well, let me tell you everything about Run with Gina here, right? You don't even have to say anything. They're literally walking around. Like, you look at Nike, you look at Lululemon, you look at all these brand name products. There's a reason why they have logos on all of their products. That's how they're known. When you look at like, if you watch movies and you watch like music videos, used to be, and they kind of still are, advertisements for products. Like, you look at the placement of beats in so many music videos, you're like, the music video was designed to sell the beats, not the song at all. So it's a really great opportunity for marketing when you have these branded clothing. So for those of you that are watching at home, Gina, what tips could you give people if they want to start creating their own branded products?
Just do it. It all comes down to, keeping it simple, right? We want to complicate everything. Really, I didn't want to do the shirts and I didn't want to do the hats, but people kept asking me for the shirts and the hats. And I'm thinking to myself, that's too much work. Like, I don't have time. I have a full-time job and a long commute. Like, I don't have time.
Commute too.
9-mile round trip work commute. Yeah. So, but really all it is it's shooting an email, right? How often are we online shooting an email and saying, I want to order shirts, right? So, or just telling your people who wants a shirt. Your friends, their friends do want to support you. Like, if you're a decent person, people want to see you do well. So that's what I try to do. I try to do those principles of under promising and over delivering and things like that. And that's what people are like, hey, you know what? You've given me so much more. I wanna wear your shirt. I want to wear your hat. Just do it. Just order whatever it is, build it and they will come. Okay. So that's basically what's happened with me. So it's really not a big deal to order the shirts. In my mind, it was. This is too time consuming, but it's really not. It's a phone call. It's an email. It's no big deal.
Absolutely. So for those of you at home, like Gina said, posting in your Facebook group, posting on your Facebook page, and telling people like, hey, I'm thinking about getting shirts printed. Would you be interested? Like, comment yes below. You don't have to create a website or anything to order these shirts. And like, Gina, another good question would be, how do you take payment for these shirts?
I do. I prefer PayPal. I take it via PayPal, but because the majority of my people are local, I host a run. I try to host a run once every 2 to 3 weeks, just to bring my community together. And they'll hand me cash, a check, whatever they don't, whatever they prefer, I just
Yeah.
accept. Yeah.
Okay, so that's a great idea for those of you that are at home. You don't have to have a like a website set up. You can accept email money transfer. You can accept PayPal. I always joke to my clients that if they want to send me a carrier pigeon, I'll take that too. So, don't overcomplicate things. Keep it simple. You can easily post on Facebook asking people how, like, if they want to support you and have a shirt, and then they can send you a payment, PayPal or email money transfer, or you can meet up with them. And then, so you place a pre-order, right?
I order what people ask for. I don't want to have an inventory. I don't want to have, all these shirts. So what ends up happening is I've distributed the shirts. Do you have any more shirts? No, I don't have any more shirts. Well, I wanted a purple one and a green one. So now I'm at a point, even though it was less than a month ago that I handed out shirts, I now need to order shirts again because people are asking for more shirts. So
That's
luckily
awesome.
it's not that time consuming. I'm going to say, what color do you want? What size do you want? And we're going to go from there.
Well, and that's great too, because once you've kind of built up that relationship with a printer, because you said your printer is only 2 miles from your work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can just shoot them a message and ask them to do that. Yeah. And for those of you, Gina, here's another great question that I think people might ask. Now, how do you price your shirts?
So you know what? I don't have really a system. So I see the shirts, there is a small markup on the shirt. But to be honest with you, I looked at other running groups to see what their shirts are, and I come in under what their shirt is, but over what my cost is. So there is a few bucks. I'm not getting rich off of shirts, but it's not. Well, I don't have a percentage. It's not 33%. It's not. Yeah. It's a few bucks, is what it is.
Well, and the way that I kind of look at it as well is like it takes you time to send that email, to go pick the shirt up, yes, to package it, to ship it. Mm-hmm. So a couple of dollars is definitely understandable. Mm-hmm. But I think that's really good for those that are watching at home, that they know that it's not really, we're not in the t-shirt business here.
No.
We're in the training business. And it's really just to get your name out there. Like, these people are literally paying to tell more people about you. So that's amazing. And pricing your shirts and your products very similar to that. Like here in Canada, we have a couple really good brands. And for example, we have the brand Roots, and we got a bunch of branded Roots hoodies for the gym, and they looked amazing. And the cost of the hoodie itself, the base price was like $60. And then it was like another $8 because we got it embroidered and everything. And I think I ended up charging like $75 for them. So there was which is still cheaper than had you bought the sweater with nothing on it from Roots, like at the Roots store. So it's a really great thing to keep in mind for those that are at home. You want people to buy your stuff. You want them to buy your printed shirts. So you don't want to overprice your shirts as well. So, and then how do you get them to your clients? That would be the next question.
So for the local people, obviously, when I host that run, I let them know that I'm hosting the run, and they come and get them. I've had people come to my office to get them. And then obviously to my people that are not in California, I have to ship them. So it's no big deal. I run to the post office.
The shipping then?
I do not charge for the shipping.
Oh,
so
great.
I'm in a very different position because I have a full-time job. I have my continued funds with my full-time job. So the Run with Gina business, it's like Leslie said, it's a debt-free business. I'm not doing it right now to get rich. Mm-hmm. I am doing it to build up a community that I will do something more with in the future. Mm-hmm. But no, I'm not making, but when I shipped hats last time, I had to ship hats and shirts, and a couple of those were they were kind of expensive, but still, it's still not, I'm still making a couple of bucks accumulatively. Mm-hmm. Everybody helped pay for that shipping. They did say to me, do you want me to send you money for shipping? And I said no.
Okay. And I'm just going to be nosy. Can I ask why you didn't, because I don't know how much shipping costs in the States, but I know, mm-hmm. for example, if I try to ship like a shirt that's like 4 hours away, it's like $18. So I'm just wondering, because I'm like, $18? I'm like, that's a lot for shipping. So I'm wondering, what is the shipping that you have to pay in the States?
So I'm in California, and I shipped one shirt to Virginia, and it was under $3.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
But the next time I shipped her 3 hats, a visor, a trucker.
Oh, those are cute.
A running hat. And she had ordered like every color of the rainbow of shirts. So her box was a box. It wasn't just an envelope. And that ended up being, I think it was $13. So that was the most. But she's buying 3 hats and 4 shirts, and she's already bought 5 other shirts. So, I'm not here to get rich off her. I appreciate the fact that she's in Virginia, and people in Virginia are Googling Run with Gina. So
that's amazing.
It's like right now I have 5 people in London for the London Marathon, and they're wearing the shirt, and on the back of this shirt has the website, and people are asking them, what's Run with Gina? So, it's I don't need to make money off it. I'm fine. Give me $2. I'm good with my $2 profit. So, because it's not my main income. I'm in a different position than most people.
What would you recommend for those that it is their sole income?
Well, I think people, most people are, reasonable. Like I said, people offered, do you want me to send you money for shipping? And I declined. So if you said to somebody, okay, the cost is X amount of dollars plus shipping, nobody's going to tell you no. They're not going to complain about it. I don't think so. There might be 1, 2 people, but just sort of like in the book, like you attract a certain type of person. I'm not going to attract those kind of people. Or I wouldn't choose to work with those people, because we have that choice. We can refuse. So, if you have somebody complaining about that, then maybe that's not your perfect client, right?
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. When we've done shirt runs before, we've also gotten water bottles printed, and they had they were really a low relative cost. I think they were like $4 for the water bottles. So I said, hey guys, if you order a shirt, because in Canada it's ridiculous for shipping here. I'm learning from our conversation. I said, you know what? Yeah, it's like $13 to ship 4 hours away, but I said, you know what? I'll throw you guys in a free water bottle to kind of cover some of the cost of the shipping. So a lot of people are very reasonable like that, and if you're kind of so it worked out that the water bottle was like $4 for me, but we sell them for $14. So it works out like that, right? So it works out. So any last tips you would have for those that are watching? I see Deborah here, and I feel like Deborah's almost joined us every day. So Deborah says, I'd love to learn more about building her community. What would you say to Deborah?
So I started a Facebook group just for my runners. At the time, this was in July 2018, and I put 25 people that were my runners at the time into this Facebook group. And what ended up happening is they started adding their friends, and at first at first I was like, hey, what's up with these people just putting in their friends? I don't know their friends, but really them bringing in their friends has been my free advertising, because their friends are buying hats from me. They're buying shirts from me. They are asking me questions, and they're future clients. That's it. Don't think that there's an opportunity everywhere. People are always listening. People are always reading what you put up there, whether they like it or not. They don't have to like it. They don't have to comment. I see it. I see that, I see that 200 people read the blog I put up yesterday, even though only 20 people liked it. I know how many people read it. But I think building your community is, don't exclude anybody, whether they're paying or not. Do not exclude them, because maybe they're not paying today, but tomorrow they will be paying.
Well, that's a great point about playing the long game, right? A lot of people kind of look at it like, oh, now, I want this new client now. But Stu McLaren explains this as like going on a date, right? You wouldn't go on a date and expect to like make out on your very first date. Well, some of you might. I don't know how it's gonna work out, but you have to like, and funny because he has like the funniest story about how he ended up like landing his wife, and he was like, "Oh, I'm in it for the long game." And he was like, he had committed to it, and we want to think about it the same way with our clients, right? We want to build that trust. We want them to like us, to get them to know us, and play that long game with them. And it's okay if they don't buy from us now, because like Gina said, they could be future customers. And I've had clients, and Chloe said this on yesterday or the day before. I don't even know what day of the week it is.
Kay was yesterday.
Oh, yes,
Chloe
Kay was
Wednesday. Yeah.
Oh, and Leslie was Tuesday.
Yeah.
The holiday Monday threw me off. Yeah. So she was saying that she'll have people that will send her applications that that have never liked or commented on any of her posts, and she's like, "Whoa, what is this?" And we all have it. So don't think that likes are equivalent to how many people are actually watching you, because there's a lot of people on Facebook that don't comment or like anything, because they just kind of sit there back there watching, they don't like anything, but it doesn't mean they're not paying attention to you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, Gina, I want to take a moment to thank you for joining us today on behalf of the Personal Trainer Development Center. And for those of you that are watching at home, if you too would like to have similar success as Gina, we have this free mini course going on right now. And all you have to do to sign up is go to theptdc.com/intro. And I want to point out that this is the first day that I have not messed all of those letters up. So go on over to theptdc.com/intro. We'll also put that link in the comments. And we're going to be teaching you actually how Gina got like her first client, amongst with a whole bunch of other really cool stuff, okay? So if you guys want to learn more, head on over there. If you're in the States, you can text PTDC to 444-999. And Gina, thanks so much again for being with us. And that wraps up all of our Facebook Live. So if this was your first time joining us, we have 9 other Facebook Lives that we've done over the past 2 weeks. So you're going to want to head over to our Facebook page under videos, and you'll see that they're all there. So we have some really great interviews for you guys to check out. And thanks so much for joining us the past 2 weeks. We'll see you again next time. Bye.
Thank you for having me.